All right, y'all. Got the turbo manifold out. Got some packages in. RSX looking clean. With that being said, today we are going to be wrapping my manifold. Just getting everything ready for mock-up, installation, all that good stuff. I got the tripod out. I'm going to set y'all on the tripod and do a time lapse, something. So let's make it happen. All right, cool. So got all my things cut. All right, now that I got the RSX lifted up, we're gonna disconnect the header and the exhaust and shit, and go from there. It's like I'm gonna be finishing it off for the night. Just mocking this up right here. I don't know how I feel about the turbo clearance. It is very close. I'm barely gonna have any space for my return, so I need to reassess some things. Other than that, just to make it look nicer, I could finally cut this OEM bracket, relocate the fuel pressure regulator lower. I was thinking about putting it down the center and tucking it a little bit, but everything's so cluttered. Just to get it to run and tune it should be fine for now. I really want to do hood exit, but not straight up here, out the side, going up like this. The space is very tight. I have to decide what I'm gonna do with my heater core lines, if I'm gonna plug them. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm gonna have to do something. I'll probably end up taking them out, to be honest. All right, guys, so it is the next day, or I should say it is the morning from the night. I went ahead, took the turbo off just so I could assess some more things in broad daylight. As you can see, I addressed my wastegate space issue. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with this heater core line. I don't know if I just want to cut it, use a different tube, cut it down here, run a soft tube. I have no freaking idea. Went ahead, sprayed the crash bar real quick last night. Sprayed underneath here on the radiator support so it could look decent. So once I start making moves, then I'll pick the camera back up. All right, guys, so you can see I got my headers out. Went ahead, took the gasket off just to see what I need to get drilled exactly. You see here it doesn't line up right there, and it doesn't line up right here. I'm not trying to make it so where it's all just one side, because then I gotta really work it. And you can see some of the pieces here are very uneven, especially this fourth one. Leaves a lot of room for suffocated exhaust flow. All right, so took the day to just concentrate instead of letting my phone die on the tripod, even though it's still dying. Opened up my charge pipe box, got my charge piping ran, the turbo ran. I'm still having the same issues as far as widening the holes for the manifold, so just have it set on there in place. That way I can mock up the turbo and do some other stuff instead. Phone's at 1%, so I'm gonna let y'all slide. Charge pipe is ran. I had to cut some and make some stuff happen. I left some hose clamps loose, so if I need to take the turbo off again, then, which I have to, because I still have to drill the holes. I'm probably gonna take the manifold to work. I thought I had a feed line long enough. I don't, so I need a feed line, which is so much fun. What else? Drill the holes for the manifold bigger. I need to figure out what I am doing with this wastegate. Driving me nuts right now. All right, went ahead and disconnected the turbo so you guys can see where the wastegate sits again. All right, y'all. So went ahead, dropped the subframe in the front. Got my pan off. Now I gotta clean the block and make sure all surfaces don't have nothing on it, so I can silicone the pan. Got it taken to the fabricator last night. He went ahead, got my bun welded up to it. This charge piping right here, and the IAT sensor. So this could go like that, and then my blow-off valve will be right here. All right, so I went ahead, got my oil pan in, just ran my feed line. Also installed this. I adjusted the intercooler piping over here because it was hitting the bumper. I had to hammer this in a little bit more. I got the blow valve. This is Nate's old blow valve. It's temporary. If it sounds good, I'll keep it. But I had it mocked up right in the headlight, so hopefully it kind of echoes, sounds cool when you hear it enough over the hood exit. Charge piping is pretty much ran. Got it tightened down. Got the oil pressure sensor off. Had to take the VTEC solenoid off. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the new adapter in and go from there. So I went ahead, got it on. There's my oil pressure sensor. Teflon, Teflon, Teflon. And then there's that lock nut to make sure that it's tight, doesn't back out, and release a little bit of weight off of this if it's hitting too much. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the feed line and the VTEC solenoid back on, re-silicone that. So luckily I remember that I had an extra VTEC screen because this is the old one. You can see brittle, probably the original one. Here's my replacement. Threw a little bit of silicone on it just to make sure that it got sealed around the edges, nothing getting in the screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that now. Before I do that, I'll show you guys how I'm running my feed below the manifold and around to top of the transmission. Honestly, it's not really playing out how I want it to play out. I really just wanted to be able to throw you guys on a tripod and just time lapse everything, but it really helps when I could just focus, quiet, not have to worry about the sun burning up my tripod with y'all on it. So pretty sure the last thing I took video of was the pressure sensor in the feed line. I am getting a new manifold. I really tried to make everything that I could work. As you can see, it's crooked. It's very crooked, and none of the bolt holes line up, and I've dremelled them to the point past beyond. So I have a new manifold coming soon. Hopefully after that I could hook up the boost controller, and when the new manifold comes, I could start seeing how I want to do my exhaust and my wastegate. Another issue that I'm hoping gets resolved with the new manifold is clearance. You can see there is my return line, and my feed line is good. It's just my return, unless I find like a 90 to do that. It's just very close to my shifter cables. The same way the turbo is very, very close to these sensors, and the V-band for the wastegate is pretty much on the heater core hoses. So crossing my fingers that the new manifold resolves those issues. Other than that, I have everything else pretty much ran. I need to cut a gasket for the blower valve. I have gasket material, and then I need to see how I'm gonna fit this. I didn't take into accountability the length of this. I could always cut the screw and make it work, so I'm not that worried about it. Charge piping, everything's good. It just, you can see here, it's a little bit on the bumper. I really don't want to cut this out, so I'm just gonna leave it. Whenever I boost, I'll probably just flex the bumper a little bit, nothing too crazy. After I put another zip tie right here, then it will sit flush. Pan is on. I double checked all the bolts, made sure that they're tight. I'll probably double check them tomorrow. Here, those are the only ones I didn't get to triple check. I already double checked them. And then I got my VTEC solenoid on. Yeah, so we're looking good for now. Pick up you guys in the next clip.